Today I begin lecture 16, Personal Identity, part 1. Actually, I will divide this topic into two parts, part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I am discussing the concept of personal identity, criticism given by Hume, and also the answers given by Hospers. First of all, we must know what do we mean when we use the term person. A person, broadly speaking, has two components, the mind and the body. This leads to two problems, personal identity and the problem of other minds. And the skeptics like Hume claim that there is nothing like a substantive self. The mind or the subject is nothing but a continuous flow of thoughts. It's always in a state of flux. So, what exactly is the person? He is not simply the body nor just the mind. And what about other people? How do they have the same kind of experiences as we have? How do we even be sure that they feel the same as us? In discussing the problem of personal identity, we have to understand that personal identity is what is meant by the body and the mind. The mind is also mentioned as consciousness or soul. This concept of mind also includes the sense of I or myself. This is linked to the body. In other words, every person has a unique combination of a body and a mind. Neither the body by itself nor the mind by itself can be called the personal identity. Both include each other and yet are not just the body or the mind. If we say that consciousness or mind has no physical characteristics, then we are committing a category mistake because we are trying to combine two opposite things together. Here, a question arises, if the mind is not the brain, then what is its physical existence? Some philosophers argue that the mind is inside the body, like Plato and Augustine. According to Hospers, mind has mental events and body has physical events. But when I think of myself, I find that the I is closer to the mind than the body, and the body obeys this I in all physical efforts and endeavors. Similarly, the body seems to be close to the mind, in connection with the mind and with this I. As for example, we can say that I am thin or I am fat. This shows that the I includes the body. Similarly, when we say I am sad, the I is inclusive of the mind. The mind or the subject or self is non physical, non perceivable, and completely abstract. So, even a brain mapping or a brain dissection or some other bodily medical inquiry does not reveal that the formal existence of the self or I. Yet we find that this I is the substratum or basis of all experiences. In fact, it is included in all experiences. Some philosophers, mainly skeptics and materialists, feel that this I is just a word and nothing else. But Hospers argues that in order to understand things, there has to be a subject who has experiences. Just sensations are meaningless unless they are arranged by the mind in order to make them meaningful. So, the I seems to exist. Now we come to the criticism. Hume argues that when we introspect, we find that there are series of experiences which constitute ourself. Without these experiences, we cannot even recognize the I or myself. When someone is unconscious or in a coma, this I ceases to function. So, I or myself is nothing but a bunch of experiences. Hospers argues in three ways. Firstly, Hospers says Hume overlooks the fact that even if the I is a part of experiences, it still remains the subject of the experience. Hume can answer this by saying that he was merely analyzing what personal identity is. Secondly, Hospers argues that Hume is self contradictory when he says that he can never catch himself. The question here is who is perceiving himself in introspection? The third question that is answered by Hospers is how will Hume explain other people if there are differences in experiences, or whether people are talking about the same thing? Therefore, the very fact that other people exist and have experiences also proves that personal identity is unique to everyone. And thus we see that Hospers tries to answer Hume, and he feels that Hume overlooks the fact that personal identity has a unique character. Today I end my lecture here, and in my next lecture I will conclude this topic. Thank you.